Aye, if you want to keep pigeons, expect to clean lots of shit.
This is an interview for Peep-magazine. We're joined with Lee Briggs. He's invited me down because we're going to talk about pigeons, believe it or not. So I've got a bit of an interest in them. Lee's got a fascination in them. He collects them, seems to know a lot about them. He's been collecting them for a good few years. So we're down today. We're going to ask him about how he came about collecting all these pigeons, give him a bit of backstory about them. So thanks for inviting me down, Lee.
You're welcome.
So the first question is, how did you become interested in pigeons?
I've always had an interest in birds. And then the first two birds I got were of a Smithy family. And I had them in the fish tank when I was a young lad. And then from there I've just built up.
So how many, if you were to count, or if you could count on the top of your head, how many birds have you actually got at the moment?
50, maybe 50 birds.
Do you know, from a good few years ago, we both grew up around the same place. I'm not going to say where, I'm not going to disclose where, but a rough area, roughly the area was Scotswood Road. And I remember years ago, I used to walk along Scotswood Road, and you probably remember this yourself, where there was like pigeon coups or huts, allotments, and then it used to be a big craze, like back in the day, of keeping birds and all. There was like hundreds of them, and then one day they had all been like burnt down. Can you remember this?
Yeah, I remember them days. Yeah, it's when they all got emptied. All got they had plans for the roads, so everyone got bought out, and obviously the kids got out and set fires. But that's what kids do, isn't it?
I mean, it was a big thing back then. It's like, obviously not for us, but for a lot of other kids, like burning things down was like the main thing to do, wasn't it?
Oh, that's what's they still doing now, isn't it? This country's on fire.
So what benefit do you get from raising the pigeons? Do you fly the pigeons?
Not race them, but I fly endurance pigeons. It's like basically they go up and they just stay up as many hours you can fly them. But it's not racing pigeons. Racing pigeons is harder work.
Right. So you don't enter competitions and stuff like that?
Yeah, we enter competitions.
Oh, you still enter competitions?
Yeah. But it's basically just to see who's fly the best. You know, it's like not about who gets them back first. It's about who flies them the longest.
How can you tell? How can someone? I think we had a little chat about this outside, but how can someone tell how long the pigeons have been flying for? How can someone quantify that?
Just by sitting watching. You know, that's all you can do. In other cultures, they dye them. They dye the birds so they can tell which colour their birds are.
Oh, right.
You know, and things like that. But we just unite your own birds for some reason.
Uh-huh. So what, apart from flying the pigeons, do you get any other benefit from having the actual birds?
Aye, relaxation.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
What? So they're good for like mental health? Would you say?
All pets are good for mental health. All pets.
So when you're feeding them, and then I know they've got like little bits of water, they keep themselves clean, because a lot of people think that the pigeons are like flying rats and all the rest of it. So what's your opinion on that?
Most the pigeons that you see that look like rats are usually like living in roofs, eating out at restaurants, grease all over them, that sort of thing. If you've got birds, you've got birds. If you look after them right, it's just the same as you flea your cat, you flea your dog, flea your birds. It's the same as everything else, basically. Any other pets.
It's like what's starting to happen now. I'm seeing it more and more. Is there's a lot of like trendy professionals keeping the birds in the apartments. I've seen them in New York and stuff like this, where there's no cage. There's just like a couple of birds in their trendy New York apartments. Would you recommend this?
No, definitely not. Yeah, but it's each to their own. That's all I can say.
I mean, because it's. I mean, they're lovely birds and all the rest of it, but they can be attached to health issues as well, can't they? Have you experienced any health issues with your birds?
No, not yet, but maybe when I'm older. Who knows? I've seen people keep them for 2 weeks and have the same sort of health issues as people that's kept them for 40 years. So what can you do?
Probably just depends on your immune system.
Alright, basically. I hold your breath for 10 minutes while you're in there.
although what we're saying, because I've been watching just to get a bit of research on cleaning the birds out and all, and I haven't seen anyone wear any face masks, and I'm thinking maybe should be wearing a face mask.
But it depends. It's like I say, if one person can get it 2 weeks, one person can get it 40 years. It's same as smoking. If you're smoking and you're complaining about going into a pigeon hut, what can I say?
Yeah, because I think there's dust on the feathers and the mold quite a lot, and what I've researched is it's the actual dust and the excrement that gives you the problems on your chest.
Yeah, definitely 100% the dust, but any bird can get it. Budgies, parrots, any sort of pet bird. So it doesn't matter if you have birds or birds in your house. It's there.
Can you recognise the different messages that the birds create?
In which sort of sense?
Like,
by that.
yeah, so like I was watching someone last night on YouTube, and she was explaining all the different movements and head movements and gestures they kind of do, and she was like reading this is that, and when she does this, she wants this. Can you see that with your birds?
Sometimes I can, obviously when they're hungry, but when they come into form, you can see when they come into form, they get like a posture, things like that. But I don't know about head movements and that, just apart from when they're hungry and stuff.
And I was kind of watching the bird as well. It was putting its head to the side, that meant something, and then obviously putting the neck out, that she was saying that it wants a pet and all the rest of it. But do you think the pigeons are that affectionate?
Could be. No. I've actually seen birds pelt. I've actually had a bird pelt with a fantail. No, I wouldn't get next to any other pigeon. It would just come to me and want stroke, and then it would go and do an expect to have.
All right.
But they attach to people. Some do attach to people today.
So you would say they're quite they're quite smart birds, because I've been reading a lot that some people are saying they're extremely bright birds.
Oh, of course so. If I got them 500 miles somewhere and had to find you on way back, I wouldn't. It's just that's racing pigeons, but it's the same sort of thing.
What's your philosophy on how they do home the pigeons? How do the track come back? I mean, I've read a few things that there's like a electromagnetic field within the beak. Some experts saying that's not true, and then another expert is saying that they can gauge their area by smell.
I think that they can use road maps. They can pick up on different road maps. I've experienced it myself when I used to race pigeons years ago. You take them to Durham and you can see them flying up the A1 as you're driving back up the A1, and then they beat you back.
They're kind of following the road, do you think?
Just like they've got a mental road map. It doesn't matter what anyone says. Like, how can you take a bird for the first time 20, 40 mile away and they find the way back?
Yeah. Because I always thought, how do they find the way back? But I've obviously done a bit of reading about this, but they've got to be born in the shed, haven't they?
No, that's not the case. No. Many a good flyers have had them from other people and done well with them birds. So it doesn't have to be bred in that hut.
But if it's not bred in that hut, where do they know where to go? Like, do they go where they were born? Or they go where their new home is?
Just where they feel comfortable.
Right.
Where they feel comfortable. I've lost a lot of birds this year just where they haven't felt comfortable.
So basically you could have 50 birds now, you could let some out, and maybe 10 might not come back.
Oh, easy. Mm-hmm. You might get one back out of 50.
Do you ever get like a friend who also races the pigeons, and then your pigeons end up in their shed, and there's nothing you can kind of do about it?
Oh, aye.
That happens.
But you get them back because obviously they've got your ring numbers on, and people, proper pigeon people will like tell you where the pigeons are. Other people will just keep them. You know, breed off them, do whatever they want with them.
Do you breed the pigeons?
Oh yes, I breed my own pigeons.
It's strange because there used to be like a bit of a myth how you never see a baby pigeon.
Oh, I've got loads of pictures.
But it's kind of you don't see them, do you? Because they stay with the mum and dad till they're bigger than the mum and dad.
Till they leave the nest, basically. Wild ones do, but obviously, if you've got like fancy pigeons, you don't leave them in that long.
Right. So is there a difference between like fancy pigeons and normal pigeons?
There's a difference between many different pigeons. Many a different pigeon. That's a whole, I don't know if you think, but that's a whole different topic.
Right.
It's a whole different topic.
Has learning about the birds come quite quick to you, or have you always like, I think you've already explained that you've always had birds. From what age? About 9 years old?
Yeah, 9 years old or something like that. And I'm still learning a day.
All right,
if you keep pigeons, you learn every single day.
Really?
Oh yes, 100%.
So what, I know it's a bit of a off the wall question, but what are some of the things that you're learning from your birds now, like that you maybe didn't know a few years ago?
It's hard to explain. You just have to be a fancier, you know. It's impossible to explain.
Do you know, with people fancying the pigeons, I remember years ago in school, and someone went to the careers office. Do you know, you had one in school, like an advisor coming in. It's like, what do you want to do? And I think the lad who I was with says, well, he put down, I'm a keen pigeon fancier. And I thought that was quite laughable back in the day. I mean, we were only like 10 or 12 or something. But do you think back in the day, it's a kind of a hard thing to ask, but it was, everyone was doing it. And then there was like a few years of 20 years, no one was doing it because it wasn't really that hip to do it. But now, do you think a lot more people are getting back into it?
I would say that, like, but it's not like youngsters is from this country. Could I say that? It's more like people coming from other countries.
Oh, is it?
Oh yes, of course. It's just like there's lots and lots and lots Polish, Romanians and all that got them. But it's not like a upstart thing with young'uns now because of the internet.
It's hard to beat that internet, isn't it? It's hard to beat that Xbox with the pigeon.
Oh, it is like.
Ironically enough, I used to have a game called on the Spectrum called Potty Pigeon. Can you remember it?
No. I was probably outside with me pigeons.
That's the difference. I was indoors playing a game about having a pigeon, and you were actually doing it with the pigeon.
Oh, yeah, I definitely, mate. But
In the hut where you have the birds, do you find many scuffles and fights? Is there? Because I'm trying to get like a mental image of all these birds together in the hut. Is that an alpha male in the hut?
no, not definitely not. All alpha males.
Oh, really?
Oh, they're all cocked enough. Definitely. Aye.
So how does that work then? With if they're all alphas, how does that? Is there not a lot of scuffles and fights and pecks here there?
Oh, well, it just depends, because they've got their own individual boxes.
Right.
But if there's someone else comes into that box, obviously they're going to retaliate, set about them.
Mm-hmm.
But you see some good fights.
Really?
Aye.
Does that happen quite a lot?
Aye, there's aye. Mm.
Because I've seen that when the pigeons get quite aggressive, they pick your finger and all that, but apparently it doesn't hurt.
Oh, it doesn't.
No.
No, they've got any power in their beak.
beaks are soft.
Aye. Yeah. If they peck your finger, well, I've seen, my granddad used to get bruises, but he was like obviously old, you know, but I've seen him with a few bruises on his hand. They can hurt you, but the worst thing they can do is fly past you and hit you in the eye with a wing.
Oh,
No,
or the
it's,
claws or whatever.
no, just a wing.
The wing.
Aye, because obviously when they fly, they put their feet in,
Oh, got you.
so the only thing that can hit you with is the wing.
Got you. Do they sleep on one leg as well?
Sometimes, depends how relaxed they are. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what this this guy was saying on YouTube. He says that you can tend to see the body language where if they get down flat and puff their wings out, that means they're quite relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Aye.
Uh-huh.
But what can also mean stress.
Right.
So it's aye. The fluff of the feathers out can mean stress. If the fluff of the feathers out can mean relaxed.
Can you remember the last time you kind of recognised a pigeon's intelligence and thought, whoa?
I'll tell you in about 35 minutes if these didn't come down. Aye, the wood at the minute, I've lost a lot of young birds this year. I don't know why, but I've lost a lot of young ones. But the ones that's here at the minute are quite intelligent.
Do you get a lot of problems with, I don't know what's around here, maybe hawks or kestrels? Do you get a lot of problems with those birds taking out the pigeons?
Yeah, sparrowhawks, usually get them when they're on the bottom. And when they go for a good fly, usually peregrine falcons attack them. But I've never seen any attacks this year, but it's happened in the past.
Because I kind of seen them when you showed us a couple of images on your phone, where as soon as they start diving like beeline for that bird, they haven't got a chance of it.
Oh, no, definitely not. No. I've watched it in the past. I give up these pigeons that I've got at the minute because of peregrine falcons who were attacking them, hitting them, going away, coming back, hitting them again, going away, coming back, hitting them again. Like taking 6-7 pigeons in one go.
How do you mean going away, come back? Like hitting them in midair, just going straight through them?
Yeah, gone straight through them. They come doing like a bullet, take them, gone, and then it's not very nice to watch. Like.
Well, it's weird, right? Because I had a couple in me tree pigeons, and they will keep coming back, and it's the first time. I never thought that they put nests in a tree.
Wood pigeons.
Yeah.
Aye, wood pigeons.
So what's the difference between the pigeons you've got? What's the difference between the pigeons you've got and the normal household wood pigeon?
Well, the wood pigeons are wild.
Right.
My pigeons are domesticated. But they all come from rock doves.
Rock doves.
Mm.
Yeah, because these pigeons, I mean, they were amazing to watch. The tree was quite big in the garden. We've had to chop it down since not because of this, but we waited till the pigeons were fully gone and as crows, the babies crows.
Squabs.
Squabs, sorry.
Squabs.
We waited till they flew off, and because what would happen constantly, and it was a constant bloodfest. The magpies.
Oh, aye, magpies are terrible.
Just constantly.
I've seen magpies gun into my hut and a young and disappear. Magpies, jackdaws. Oh, aye.
It's like you can't keep them away. Like, I chased them like every other day. Every time I'd see them come through the garden, I'd clap them off and they'd just come straight back.
Oh, it's just nature. It is. I've seen them do it many times. It's nature.
And then we were like, we hope that they don't come back again. I think, how often do they nest, Wood pigeons, about 3 times a year?
All year round.
All year round.
If they can. Same as any pigeon.
And then, and then this magpie was just literally pulling the baby out the nest.
Yeah.
And then I don't even think they eat much of it. They just, I don't know what they're doing.
Oh no, it's just terrible.
Horrible.
It is like. I've seen them drop. I come in the house, went back out, a magpie had come in, flew out the back of the hut and dropped it behind the hut.
Really?
Nothing could do about it. Horrible things, magpies.
You think they're just doing this for fun, or?
No, it's just nature. We've all got to eat.
Did you know the Queen was a keen pigeon fancier?
We are. I actually had one of her pigeons when I was a kid and it got sent back.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What, a Queen's pigeon come into your garden?
Yeah.
Really?
They were different to every other pigeon because you used to have like NPA and all that, and like hers was like RPA sort of thing, like Royal Pigeon Association or something like that. But I actually sent one of them birds back.
Wow, so that kind of off the beaten track there then, and ended up in your...
Oh, of course. And then it end anywhere. Once out the loft and nobody's bird.
Yeah.
Once in the loft your bird. Once out the loft anybody's bird.
I was also watching in China or Japan, I can't remember where it was now, but they had a pigeon farms.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, so it's whole farms that are rearing the pigeons to eat. So from a baby to a full male and female bird, and then they were killing them, and then it just like the conveyor belt of pigeons.
Where was that?
Japan, I think.
Oh, well, it's...
It's supposed to be big.
No, but you know, eat everything but the squeal.
I was quite shocked that they say that they still do that with pigeons, but it seemed like big business.
Oh, I've got no idea about that. Like,
It didn't look like they were handling them too good either, just ramming them in cages, but completely the polar opposite of probably what you're doing, It was reported that a pigeon sold for £1.9 million.
yeah.
This was apparently a bidding war between two Chinese buyers. Have you heard about this?
Oh, of course, aye. Pigeons are expensive, but like I say, if you let them out the hut, they're not your pigeon. Doesn't matter how much you pay for it.
Why do you think someone would pay 1.9 million for a pigeon?
It seems,
Breed them.
yeah, it seems a racehorse. Why would they pay millions for a racehorse? You've got a good pigeon, but still, just because you've got a good pigeon that's won lots of races doesn't mean they're gonna breed you a good pigeon to race. It doesn't work like that.
It's not like Crufts.
No, definitely not. No.
They also say that pigeons have self recognition. Do you believe that?
If you look in the mirror and shit,
Yeah.
like, aye.
So they can kind of tell that they're looking at themselves in the mirror. I mean, that's quite smart, that.
They are quite smart birds, but like I say, lots of birds are smart. Some of them talk, some of them fly.
The common myth is, when people say bird brain, for someone trying to talk about someone who's not very bright. But I think it's a complete misconception because birds' brains to the actual head are quite big. So saying bird brain is just...
Oh, of course, I.
You know what I mean?
It's same as anything else. They're the same as us. They're just trying to survive. They use their brains to survive. Know what I mean? We're just all here to survive. So.
But the main priority is food, isn't it?
Of course, yes, food. You can train a pigeon to do anything over food, basically.
Well, it's strange you should say that because there's a psychological test where this expert trained a lot of birds, and the pigeons this particular one was in like a little box, and then a word would come up, turn, and it would turn, and then it would get some food, and then the next slot of words would be peck, and then turn. And it would just keep on doing it.
Just rewards over food.
Yeah.
It's just same as anything you can animal train.
It's like a dog with give us a paw, isn't
exactly. Give it a treat, basically.
Just, I think why I'm saying it is because people are probably shocked when they hear this. If they do a bit of research, they won't be, but a lot of people have got that misconception that the pigeons are stupid, dirty animals, and they couldn't be far wrong, could they?
No, not. They're just trying to survive, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
I've got to can that hut every day to clean it. They kind of clean up after themselves, so if you want pigeons, expect lots of cleaning.
Yeah. You're going to get the iguana. Is it the iguana?
Iguana.
Iguana. They recognise any face. They have self-recognition. They can recognise faces. Or do you believe they can recognise your face as well?
Oh yeah, they believe some of them do, but some of them just come to the food.
They just
basically.
I think that's it. I think we've come to an end of my questions. But have you got anything else to say about what?
Aye, if you want to keep pigeons, expect to clean lots of shit.
Iguana.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks for inviting us down, and it's been absolutely great. And hopefully we can have a little look at your pigeons.
Of course you can. Just come to the back and have a look there.